We all know the big shots. Grand Canyon, Mount Everest, Victoria Falls, the postcard-perfect tourist-packed wonders everyone dreams of visiting at least once in their life. But let's be very real. There's something way cooler about the places no one talks about. The kind that aren't filled with crowds. Our planet is absolutely insane. There's no other place in the universe like it. But even with Google Earth, billionaire space races, and the entire internet at our hands, there are still places so unreal that they feel like a glitch in actuality. So, if you think you've seen it all, well, just think again. Here are 15 hidden wonders that'll mess with your sense of what's possible. Number 15. Cano Cristales, Colombia. Most rivers stick to one color, but not Cano Cristales. This Colombian marvel decided that being a single shade was boring, so it went full Technicolor. Nicknamed the River of Five Colors, it looks like someone spilled an entire box of highlighters into the water. The magic comes from Macarenia clavigera, a plant that thrives in the riverbed, painting the water in streaks of red, yellow, green, blue, and black. But this isn't an all-year spectacle. It only happens between July and November when water levels and sunlight align just right. Miss that window, and you're looking at just another river. Beyond the psychedelic waters, the surrounding landscapes are just as stunning, with waterfalls, rapids, and hidden pools. Getting there isn't easy. Remote locations rarely are, but that's part of the adventure. A guided trek through the wild terrain makes it all the more rewarding, proving that sometimes nature just decides to show off. Number 14. Mount Roraima, Venezuela. There are mountains, and then there's Mount Roraima, a place so ancient, so impossibly different, it looks like it was carved out of another time. Rising straight out of the rainforest, its sheer cliffs climb 400 meters, leading to a plateau that doesn't belong to this world. Mist clings to its edges like a secret, hiding a summit where plants and animals exist nowhere else on Earth. Getting there is no casual hike. It's a multi-day push through rivers, jungles, and boulder-strewn landscapes. But when you reach it, unreal. The ground stretches endlessly, broken by strange rock formations sculpted by millions of years of wind and rain. Pools of crystal-clear water shimmer under an ever-shifting sky. It feels untouched, forgotten by time. Arthur Conan Doyle imagined this place as the lost world. But standing there, feeling the damp air wrap around you, it doesn't feel fictional. It feels primeval, like a place Earth made before we were even a thought. Number 13. Glowworm Caves, New Zealand. Some places don't just look different, they feel different. Step into Waitomo, and the world shifts. No streetlights, no neon signs, just thousands of tiny blue-green lights hanging above, flickering like a silent symphony. This is not magic, but glowworms. These little architects of bioluminescence turn the cave ceiling into something that belongs in deep space. Drift along the underground river, and the hush settles in. The walls are slick, the air damp, the glow so steady it tricks your mind. Are you looking up, or are you floating somewhere between stars? Scientists will tell you it's a chemical reaction, a survival mechanism. But that explanation feels flat when you're there, surrounded by a galaxy that shouldn't exist underground. The Maori knew these caves long before tourists arrived. They didn't need science to tell them this place was sacred. Number 12. Fly Geyser, USA. Sometimes nature gets a little help from human screw-ups. Case in point, Fly Geyser in Nevada, a geothermal oddity that was never supposed to exist. In 1964, while drilling for a well, workers accidentally hit a geothermal pocket. Instead of just giving up, the land decided to turn into a 5-foot-tall, multicolored, constantly spewing geyser. The mound it sits on keeps growing, as minerals from the geyser's boiling water stack up over time. Thermophilic algae thrive in the heat, turning the structure into a psychedelic mix of red, green, and yellow hues. It looks like something cooked up in a mad scientist's lab, but it's just nature doing whatever it wants. Fly Geyser sits on private land, but guided tours let visitors get up close. Because let's be honest, who wouldn't want to see an accidental rainbow-colored steaming fountain in the middle of the desert? Sometimes the best wonders come from things not going according to plan. Number 11. Antelope Canyon, USA. Antelope Canyon in Arizona is one of those places that looks too perfect to be real. Located on Navajo land near Page, this slot canyon is famous for its smooth, flowing rock walls and the way sunlight slices through its narrow openings, casting an ever-changing glow of colors. Divided into two sections, Upper Antelope Canyon, the Crack, and Lower Antelope Canyon, the Corkscrew. The canyon was shaped by flash floods and wind over thousands of years. The walls ripple like waves, sculpted into delicate curves that seem more like art than geology. But what truly makes Antelope Canyon magical is the light. During midday, when the sun is high, beams pierce through, illuminating the sandstone in shifting shades of red, orange, purple, and gold. The canyon is deeply tied to Navajo culture, and guided tours provide not just access, but insight into its significance. Whether you're a photographer or just a traveler, this place is for you. Number 10. The Burren, Ireland. The Burren in County Clare isn't your typical Irish countryside. Instead of rolling green fields, it's a vast limestone pavement that looks like Earth forgot to finish this part. Cracked and weathered by time, the landscape stretches for miles, a mix of gray rock, dramatic cliffs, hidden caves, and ancient tombs. But here's the twist. Despite looking like a set from a post-apocalyptic movie, it bursts into color every spring. 75% of Ireland's wildflowers bloom here, their vibrant petals pushing through the cracks, softening the landscape's harsh edges. The region also holds over 2,000 archaeological sites, from megalithic tombs to stone forts, making it a natural museum of Ireland's past. The Burren is wild, eerie, and oddly beautiful, a place where nature and history collide in the most unexpected way. Walk through it, and you're not just stepping on rock. You're stepping on millennia of forgotten stories. Number 9. Kravica Waterfalls, Bosnia. Most people don't think of waterfalls and jungles when they picture Bosnia, but that's exactly what you'll find at Kravica. Tucked away along the Trebizond River, these 25-meter-high cascades spill into a natural emerald green pool, surrounded by thick forests of poplar, fig, and chaste trees. Unlike the more famous Plitvice or Krka waterfalls in Croatia, Kravica is refreshingly less crowded. No elbowing tourists out of the way for a good photo here. The moss-covered rocks and constantly shifting mist make it look like something nature casually sculpted just to show off. In summer, locals and visitors alike dive into the cool waters, while in spring and autumn the falls are at their most powerful. It's not massive like Niagara, but it's got something else. An untouched, wild charm that feels worlds away from modern life. Bosnia's last jungle hid this beauty well, but those who find it are rewarded with one of Europe's most stunning natural escapes. Number 8. Lake Retba, Senegal. Yes, it's actually pink, and no, it's not Photoshop. Lake Retba, or Lac Rose, in Senegal gets its candy-colored hue from Dunaliella salina algae, which thrives in its extra salty waters. The salt levels here rival those of the Dead Sea, meaning you can float effortlessly, and everything takes on a surreal, dreamlike quality. The best time to see it in full Barbie pink glory? November to June, during the dry season, when the sun and algae work their magic. Local salt collectors wade into the lake daily, harvesting its mineral-rich deposits the same way they have for generations. Surrounded by white dunes and traditional fishing villages, Lake Retba is one of the most visually striking places on Earth. It's proof that nature doesn't always play by the rules. Sometimes it decides a lake should look like a giant strawberry milkshake instead. Number 7. Cappadocia, Turkey. If Cappadocia didn't exist, you'd think someone made it up. Towering fairy chimneys, ancient cave dwellings, and entire underground cities make this Turkish wonderland feel like a lost world that somehow slipped through history. The rock formations, shaped by volcanic eruptions and wind over millions of years, have been carved into homes, churches, and even hotels. But what really makes Cappadocia legendary? The skies. Almost every morning, hundreds of hot air balloons rise over the valleys, drifting above the alien landscape as the first light hits the stone. Spring and autumn are the best times to visit. Mild weather, fewer crowds, and perfect conditions for floating over history in a giant wicker basket. Whether you're wandering through Roraim's rock-cut churches, crawling through the labyrinthine Derinkuyu underground city, or just watching the sunrise from a cave hotel, Cappadocia never stops feeling surreal. Number 6. Valley of the Moon, Chile. The Atacama Desert is already one of the driest places on Earth, but the Valley of the Moon takes things to a whole new level. This eerie, wind-sculpted landscape looks more like Mars than anything on our planet. NASA even tested Mars rovers here because conditions are that extreme. The valley is filled with towering dunes, jagged rock formations, and dried-up salt lakes, all shimmering under the sun like they've been dusted in silver. No plants, no animals, just an endless stretch of pure, desolate beauty. And yet, at sunset, the valley transforms. The rocks turn deep reds, purples, and oranges like the desert itself is catching fire. If you've ever wanted to walk on another planet without leaving Earth, this is as close as it gets. Just bring sunscreen. Number 5. Socotra Island, Yemen. If aliens ever made a pit stop on Earth, it was probably here. Socotra Island, floating off Yemen's coast, doesn't look like it belongs to this planet. With its bizarre landscapes and plants that seem straight out of a sci-fi movie, it's no surprise they call it the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean. The island's most famous resident? The dragon's blood tree, which sounds like something a wizard would use in a potion. It has a giant umbrella-like canopy and oozes red sap, not ominous at all. Then there's the desert rose, a bulbous plant that looks more like a rock than anything that should be alive. The island's remoteness has preserved both its landscape and its ancient Socotri culture, where locals still speak one of the world's oldest Semitic languages. Add in pristine beaches, mysterious caves, and coral reefs, and you get a place so surreal that even Google Maps might think twice before labeling it Earth. Number 4. Fairy Pools, Scotland. Just like its name, the fairy pools feel straight out of a legend. Hidden in the wild landscapes of the Isle of Skye, these crystal-clear blue pools are so stunning they almost don't seem real. Water tumbles down from the Quillen Mountains, filling a chain of deep, glassy basins along the River Brittle. People come here to swim, if they can handle the freezing cold, or just to stare in disbelief at how untouched and perfect everything looks. The water is so clear you can see straight to the bottom, and when the light hits just right, it glows in shades of turquoise and emerald. Whether you're chasing a fairy tale hike, a bold swim, or just a quiet moment in one of Scotland's most surreal spots, this place never disappoints. Just be warned, the fairies might be watching. Number 3. Lake Baikal, Russia. Most lakes are just big puddles of water, but this one is a bit different. This Siberian giant is the deepest, oldest, and clearest freshwater lake on Earth, because apparently it wasn't satisfied being just one of those things. It holds 20% of the world's unfrozen freshwater, which is a ridiculous amount when you realize that's more than all the Great Lakes combined. Winter turns Baikal into something unreal. The ice is so clear you can see straight through it, with trapped air bubbles and cracks that stretch for miles. Walking on it feels like hovering over another dimension, except it also groans and shifts beneath your feet, because apparently, nature likes to keep things exciting. In the summer, the lake's water is so transparent you can see 40 meters down. It's also home to the world's only freshwater seals, because why wouldn't a lake this extra have its own exclusive species? Baikal isn't just a lake, it's a whole universe of its own. Number 2. Tunnel of Love, Ukraine. It's rare that an active railway line also doubles as one of the most romantic places on Earth, but Ukraine's Tunnel of Love is proof that nature and industry can get along, kind of. Over time, the tracks became wrapped in dense, arching greenery, forming a tunnel so perfect it looked like something out of a dream. The tunnel stretches about 5 kilometers, shifting with the seasons. In spring and summer, it's a vibrant green corridor. Autumn turns it into a golden masterpiece, and winter covers it in frost and snow, giving it a completely different kind of magic. Of course, the name isn't just for show. Legend has it that couples who make a wish here will have it come true. Well, don't ask. The train still runs slowly, keeping the tunnel's shape intact. Just don't get too lost in the moment. You don't want to be the couple that ignored the incoming locomotive. Number 1. Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil. A desert that isn't really a desert, Lençóis Maranhenses in northeastern Brazil is a place that defies logic. Spanning nearly 1,500 square kilometers, this landscape is made up of endless white sand dunes, but instead of dry emptiness, it holds hundreds of crystal-clear blue lagoons. During the rainy season, between January and June, water collects in the valleys between the dunes, creating a seasonal paradise. These pools can reach depths of up to 3 meters, warm and inviting for swimming. The contrast between the brilliant white sand and the deep blue water is striking, making it a dream for photographers and nature lovers alike. Despite its barren appearance, the region is alive. Fish mysteriously appear in the lagoons, brought in by migrating birds and river floods. The best way to explore is by 4x4, though walking tours offer a more intimate experience. The nearby town of Maranhenses serves as a gateway, providing access to one of Brazil's most bizarre yet breathtaking landscapes. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for staying with us, and we'll see you soon in the next one.